Good afternoon. I hope all of you are doing well today. I think I'm between you and lunch, a heartbeat away. I request patience. And of course, I'm really pleased to be presenting at this audience. To all of the previous presenters, compliments to you. There is so much to learn. As we say in HR, learning never stops. So there is so much to learn from each one of you here today. So compliments to you. For the delegates, this is a forum where you can showcase as well as learn. So I think we are in a good place. And it's so good to be here, especially after COVID. We really missed this forum in the last 2 years. The topic that we have today is best workplace practices, programs, and at the point that we are today, it's an inflection point. People keep talking about technology, right? Technology is very, very important, no doubt about it. Technology is an enabler. But we in our organization also believe the old-fashioned, traditional care, touch, feel, employee experience makes a big difference. For us, it's been a game changer because being a BPM player, what is one of the most important challenges are for us retention, right? Attrition control. Day in and day out, I sleep, wake up, thinking of how do we retain people? The next review, either how are you trying to save yourself or how are you trying to ensure that you're showcasing all the good work that you're doing or the team is doing. So, for us, we've learned through our mistakes, but we've learned that there are some things that are non-negotiable from an HR standpoint. There are some things that will never, technology, whatever else, cannot be replaced by how you make your people feel. A feeling of respect, a culture that encourages empowerment, all of those things are not replaceable. So the other thing that I'm so happy to share with you, so they announced that I was from HGS Healthcare. So our company got acquired by a private equity firm, the healthcare part. So we are a part of the Hinduja group. We got acquired, the healthcare part of our business got acquired by a private equity partner, and this acquisition happened on 6th of January, 2022. We transitioned 14,000 plus employees to the new org. And when we transitioned, there was a lot of fear that we were going to lose people. Because when we were transitioning, we had to end service, move to the new organization. And it is credit to, of course, the leadership and credit to the HR team, and I'm saying it with a lot of pride, that we had about 96% retention. We hardly lost anybody. They all transitioned to the new organization. So we are called Sigility. So that's the new brand. And we rolled out the new brand. So this is the first presentation that we are making as Sigility. So what does Sigility stand for? It is a combination of two words, SAGE. Sage is wisdom, sage is knowledge. So HGS Healthcare comes with huge domain knowledge of healthcare. So the wisdom that we bring on healthcare. And agility is something that we all need. So it's a combination of two words which says wisdom in action or Sigility. So Sigility is, we have 15 delivery centers, 5 countries, a revenue of 460 million. 14,000 plus employees in India. We're talking about the practices in India. 25,000 employees globally. We have 50 plus BPM clients. And again, credit to the leadership, credit to the culture of this organization that all of our clients, we have a relationship of over 15 years. Our first client, the relationship is 22 years. We started in 2000, and we continue to be with them. So it is a matter of great pride for us. So I'm not going to take too much time on this, but I think all of the panelists as well as speakers have alluded to our industry. COVID was a huge disruptor. I think we will never get back to what we were pre-COVID, right? So like I mentioned earlier, ours is a BPM company. So our talent mix, we have fresh graduates, very, very mobile, very, very volatile, very dynamic. What are we looking at is 85% of our first line managers are groomed internally. Our focus now will be on techno-functional skills. So technology and analytics, that's the part that we are focusing on. We've been hiring that. So our talent mix has a lot of that. And of course, a lot of it also depends on our clients. What is the kind of talent pool that they require? What are the skill requirements? What are the profiles? So the talent mix also is dependent on that. So how are we changing? So of course, investment in niche skills. Somebody just spoke about skilling. I think the question was on skilling, upskilling, reskilling. So healthcare academies. Those are some of the things that we are looking at. Like I mentioned earlier, techno-functional and analytical skills. Again, burning topic. Work from home, hybrid, brick and mortar. What do we do? When I'm telling you, when my team has retention discussions with an employee who has been asked to come back to work, they say, sorry, give us work from home, otherwise we're not coming back. Client says, sorry, no work from home, we need people back in office. What do? If we say, okay, sorry, we can't offer you work from home, person attrites. Every attrition counts. Our numbers, our dashboards, we are questioned. It's between a hard place and a rock, right? What do we do? So again, what are the offerings that we can have? And a young talent force. Like I mentioned, 90% almost are fresh graduates. It is a generation of instant gratification. It's all about the new mobile phone that they can buy, or the few months that they want to spend, and then earn a few 1,000 rupees or a few lakh rupees, and then get back to whatever they're doing. How do you engage such a vibrant talent force, right? Challenges, COVID we spoke about, the technology, the advancement in technology, the aspiration management, and of course, competition. Now, some of the people outcomes, I wanted to start with people outcomes, because through hard times, we've achieved some really wonderful feats and accomplishments that I wanted to share with an August gathering just as this. So, like I mentioned, 96% of top and critical talent retention, right? This is what we have, we do not lose. And especially even managers and above, it is almost like a 93%. So annualized 7% attrition, and we are talking about BPM, okay? And there is no spin doctoring here, there's no number manipulation. 77% of our managers and above are grown internally. Again, diversity. Normal BPM players operate at a 30-70. We are at a 51-49 diversity. So we encourage women at the workplace, we encourage women in leadership positions. Not saying that women do better than men, but our data has shown, especially for our customer service, women have worked longer, so the tenure is longer, and the eNPS scores of the sections which is manned by women, our scores are marginally better than the others. 100% reach out. In subsequent slides, you will see the number of calls and reach outs that have been made. And that alludes to the point that I was talking about. Nothing can replace the old-fashioned reach out that we all, sometimes we forget, and we keep talking about analytics, predictive analytics, bots doing our work. Yes, we have to have all of that. I am not denying it, but we cannot replace the old-fashioned human values. Again, this is something we are very, very proud about. 74% of our employees contribute to CSR, giving back to communities around us. And savings, so this is retention savings. In the last 3 years of 124 crores, we've monetized our retention. So how do we do it? We ensure that each person who is tagged to a business, there is a cost allocated to the person, and depending on the tenure the person leaves, there is a loss or there is a gain if they stay with us. So based on that, we've saved, this is from an HR saving through retention of 124 crores to the business. So having said all that, putting everything in perspective, not to make it complicated, because a lot of the times, HR folks, I am an HR person, been an HR person for very many years. Sometimes we like to complicate things, right? So it's better to just simplify it. So at the heart of what we do is, of course, business, and more importantly, our employees. How do we ensure our employees come first? Because we know if we take care of our employees, they will take care of our clients, right? And culture and values. What we did, and these are examples. So the name Sigility. So instead of saying, okay, the private equity firm is saying, name us Sigility, we ran a contest across the organization. In the contest, there were 3 options given, and the employees had to vote to say what they think they would prefer as the name. And Sigility came out as top. So it was giving the employees a feeling that their opinion matters, what they feel about the company. So what it has immediately done for us is when we are doing the brand cascade, as it's going on now, as I speak here, my team in the office, they're doing the brand cascades. There is a sense of so much belonging and acceptance, and people feel so excited about it, right? So that whole thing of my opinion matters, we kind of looked at that. So, sorry was there. Our people programs and initiatives to win, like I mentioned, creating experiences, delivering excellence. Outcomes are important. We've spoken about outcomes. We've spoken about the experience. Move ahead, please. The first thing, which is the jewel in our crown, is our early life team. I want to keep reminding you that we are a BPM. We lose talent in the first 90 days of people joining. Previously, we would lose almost, and like industry, we would lose almost 30 to 40% of people when they joined the organization. So within the first 90 days. We said that is a huge waste of efforts, and of course, monetarily, it impacts us and it causes a lot of stress downstream. So we have a customized 0 to 90 days or an early life team. This is a specialist HR team that manages the experience from pre-joining to once they get into training, because then the HRBP team takes over. So for the first 90 days, there is hand-holding. There's a lot of rigor around hand-holding. There are hordes of activities that happen so that the person knows that they've joined the right place. We have an HRBP structure where each HR person is aligned to an account. They have end-to-end accountability or responsibility. And I sincerely and very, I'm a firm believer that if you give somebody accountability, empower them to do what they are supposed to do, they will bring the best versions of themselves out. So that whole personal accountability really matters. Of course, alternate career paths, how do we engage them? So career paths, whether it's people management or in IC, I'm not going to dwell too much because I think as HR people, we all have career paths in our organization and the entire growth map. But we do need that to ensure that we offer growth. And the HR and people connect, health and wellness and beyond work are really important things. I think this was also spoken by the panelists about pandemic. Health has become priority number one. I have to tell you, and this is something I must confess, we have engaged with a partner, which is one-to-one-help.net. They do employee counseling, not just for employees, but also for the family members, right? So these are free counseling services that are offered. And during the pandemic, I must tell you the reach out that happened from employees reaching these services, it was just immense. And we were happy for that. We were able, and I know this is something which is sad, but I must share it with you. We were able to save, through these counseling sessions, 23 attempted suicide cases. Suicide cases, thank you, because of the stress. The demographics or the profile of the people, a lot of them lived away from families. A lot of them, once they went back to their homes, they felt a lot of strife. They were living in small places. They didn't know who to speak to. So this really, really helped. So we've spoken about the early life team. We have something called Joy of Success, where it's a pre-orientation. We have an exuberant welcome. Of course, we can't be big like the Googles or the Apples of the world who have signboards on Times Square and all of that. But for us, at the entrance on the day of joining, we have 3 joinings per week, 3 to 4 joinings. So we hire anything between 750 to 800 people a month, right? So at the place that they join, we have huge signboards with each of their names, with pictures put in, with welcome signs. There's somebody, and these are small things. These are not the large, big things. These are small things. Somebody welcomes them, somebody guides them, and that whole wow experience of saying, oh, we've come to the right place, right? They're little things. And very importantly, a focused, I would call it stratified performance management, but for the audience, it is more of the bottom quartile. We don't want to lose even people who are not doing too well. So we take care of them. We ensure as many people can move ahead. So there is a specialist team that manages the bottom quartile. And of course, we have wonderful graduation days and nothing. So again, BPM cost. Cost is very important, right? So we don't have a liberal budget, right? But we still manage celebrations, and it's just a feeling. Like I mentioned, account-wise, if we can just go back, Saurabh, we have point of contact, enabling, okay, so you can move ahead, please. I want to focus on the HR Connect. So during the pandemic, we had almost 68,000, almost 69,000 calls that were made to the employees and their families by the HR team. These calls were very simple. Hi, Aparna, I am so-and-so from your HR BP. Just wanted to know how are you doing? Is there anything that you want from us? May we also speak to your family members, especially for people who are coming back to work, right? It's just the reach out. Holistic Wellness Program, I spoke about EAP, which is an employee assistance program, which is a tie-up with one-to-one-help.net. We also have tie-ups with organizations that do physical wellness, because physical wellness, a lot of people went into this thing of not exercising, not drinking water. So we have sessions on almost a daily basis. Talking about hobbies. So we have on taking care of social wellness, we have hobby sessions, etc., all going there, and most importantly, financial wellness. The importance of being financially sound, not being in debt. Because a typical new a fresher who would, as soon as he gets a job, he or she or they get a job, the first thing they do is get a credit card. Once they get a credit card, they don't pay back on time. And then you have CIBIL running after you. And what happens is, at a later stage, if they want that home loan or a car loan or anything, they don't get it. So we create awareness on financial wellness with associates who are our frontline, or the freshers, etc., or the associates or the agents, as normally they would be known, or advisors. But we also have it across levels to in fact, the vice president level, on tax saving, on financial instruments that could help them be more financially savvy, as well as strengthen their financial knowledge. So I've spoken about early life. I'm not going to, these are some client testimonials. The structure has welcoming, alignment of all of that, so it's all over there. These are the number of activities year on year that we have mapped. So if you see for this year, we've had 478 skips, 3,250, this is in the first 90 days. And it is all documented so that we can do an analysis to see where we can get better. Open forums, 267, activities which are fun activities, etc., 475, and the pride is 94% of our new joiners contribute to social giving or giving for a better cause. HR people, sometimes it's hard because you have to be on the dance floor, pretend to be having a great time, but you also have to be very balanced and straight-jacketed. So the balance between the dance floor and being on the balcony and observing, right? So the dichotomy that all of us are sometimes, how operational are we, or how strategic can we get? A lot of the times, when you're talking to a business leader, the first thing he or she or they will say, I want HR to be more strategic. Hey, what does strategic mean? If we are not doing all that was being done, then you wouldn't be able to meet all the targets that you're meeting and talking about, right? So that whole balance is really tough. So obviously, all of the things, the programs that we spoke about were a part of operational, operative, and strategic is, of course, how do we plan to build for the future? What are the things that we think, we perceive the future needs, and how are we ready to welcome the future and be ready for it? High business outcomes. Again, the question, these are things, all of us, we all HR leaders in this room, we keep hearing, saying, does HR have a place on the table, right? Very, very common. Strategic inputs have place on the table. I don't think we have place on the table. We own the table, right? We definitely own the table because we manage people, and without people, nothing can happen, right? So here are some outcomes. We've had new logo wins. So at all, and that's the culture of this organization, of my organization, at all RFPs, the people story is really showcased. So I present, or some of my other leaders present for prospective clients at every RFP, and we've contributed to the logo wins that we've had. This is, I spoke about 69,000, but this is 86,345 calls made by my team in the last 1.5 years. These are the skip meetings, the 94% positive sentiments, best-in-class retention, and very high eNPS scores. These are, again, about reach out. I know Asif is looking at time. I'm just going to hurry. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. This is, of course, our career paths. This is something that we have, a specialized program. Our team leaders are critical for us. They are the link between management and our associates. We need to have skilled team leaders. So we have a program which is called the Manager Capability Program, where all team leaders who move into the new role within the first week, they are pushed through a program which takes care of very, very important managed change. This person has been an IC, right? They are moving to a people management role where the same people who were your friends, now they have a reporting relationship. How do you manage that change? You are approving leave, you are, you are doing their performance appraisal. How do you manage that change? So that whole program talks about manage change, build the right attitude, build knowledge, build skills. I spoke about the wonder of wellness. We call it the wonder of wellness because it is, having good health is a wonder. And for all of us, I think today that's something that really, really matters. We need to focus on our wellness, whichever way it is. I've again spoken about our CSR and touching hearts, all of this. Yeah, we are looking now, the dichotomy, work from home, not work from home. So we do have a hybrid where we look at some people working from home permanently or hiring to work from home permanently, or people who are very independent, tenured associates who can move to work from home permanently. Then we have a telecommute or hybrid working, and then we also have people who have to be permanently working from home. So it's a combination. So a picture says 1,000 words. Of course, we have lots of testimonials of happy employees, but this is one picture. And like I mentioned, some of our outcomes. And this, I thought, was very, very important. When people are financially invested, they want to return. When people are emotionally invested, they want to contribute. So that, it brings me to an end of my presentation. I'm very thankful of all of you to have given us a patient hearing. We'll be happy to answer questions at lunch or during lunch, and you can also reach out to us anytime. We'll be happy to share some best practices and learn from you too. So thank you so very much, and have a good afternoon ahead.
Thank you, Aparna, for the detailed analytics and information about your organization, for being the best in the industry. So may I have you back on stage, please? Token of appreciation